Today we will learn about political parties. Political parties are organizations of people who share the same views on government policies. Within the political parties, members work together to get candidates elected to office. The framers of the Constitution did not create political parties or intend for us to have them. Political parties were created by citizens early in U.S. history who wanted to organize to support their political beliefs. Today, anyone may become a member of a political party. You just have to register. Political parties serve many purposes. 1. They choose which candidates they're going to run for office at meetings called caucuses. 2. By existing, they give voters a choice in elections. 3. They develop a party platform so the public knows their goals. A party platform is a statement of the party's beliefs and goals. 4. They fundraise for their candidates' campaigns. 5. They educate the public by giving speeches, issuing written statements, and through advertising. And 6. They give voters a way to participate in the political process. In the United States, for the most part, we've always had two main political parties. Today they're called Democrats and Republicans, but over the last 200 years, their names and beliefs have changed quite a few times. Democrats and Republicans are both concerned about meeting American citizens' basic needs. While Democrats tend to believe the government should directly provide education, housing, welfare, and jobs for the poor, Republicans tend to believe that the government should help the nation's economy grow, and then people will have a better chance of finding work and meeting their own needs. The two-party system does have some disadvantages. For example, in a two-party system, the viewpoints of minor political parties are often ignored. The media spends a lot of time covering Democratic and Republican candidates for president, but does not give much airtime to candidates from the minor parties. Which brings us to third parties. Although the American political system has traditionally only consisted of two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, there have been quite a few other parties. We usually call these minor parties third parties because they challenge the two-party system we have in place. A third party is a political group that competes against the two major parties. One of the most successful third parties in U.S. history was the Populist Party, sometimes known as the People's Party, in the 1890s. The Populist Party was a coalition of farmers and working-class people who thought senators should be elected by the people and believed the government should enforce a mandatory 8-hour workday. Though they didn't win any presidential elections, their ideas were adopted by future Democratic and Republican presidencies. While no third party has ever won the presidency, some third parties have affected the outcome of presidential elections. In 1912, former President Theodore Roosevelt split from the Republican Party and formed his own party, called the Progressive Party, sometimes known as the Bull Moose Party. When he left, Roosevelt took many members of the Republican Party with him. With the Republican Party's votes now split in half between Theodore Roosevelt and the Republican Party candidate, William Howard Taft, they both lost the election to the Democratic nominee, Woodrow Wilson. Third parties continue to influence the government and social beliefs in our country. For example, in the 2016 election, both the Green Party and Libertarian Party candidates received quite a bit of media attention leading up to the election. Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party wound up with 3% of the popular vote, while Jill Stein of the Green Party received only 1% of the popular vote. While these percentages are only a small fraction of the number of votes needed to win a presidential election, they do represent the opinions of millions of Americans. Political parties play a major role in the election process. The process of whom to vote for begins with primary elections. A primary election is an election that narrows the field of candidates within a political party. For example, in the 2016 election, 6 Democratic candidates wanted to run for president. The Democratic Party used primary elections to narrow the 6 candidates down to their final nominee, Hillary Clinton. The Republican Party did the same, narrowing 11 candidates down to their final nominee, Donald Trump. The primary elections last from February to June of an election year. After the primaries have finished, the presidential candidates pick a running mate for the vice presidency. Then the political parties officially announce their candidates at their national conventions, which usually occur in late summer, between late July and early September. Candidates spend the next several months campaigning, making speeches, and participating in debates. The general election occurs on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. The general election is the proper name for the presidential election that occurs every 4 years. After being elected, the new president must choose cabinet members and advisors. They will usually choose people from their political party who have shown them loyalty during their race for the presidency. This is yet another way political parties affect the U.S. system of government.